Welcome back, art fans. Steve here from NVIDIA. Most of us are inspired by unique, unusual buildings. And if you're anything like me, you can definitely appreciate stop and gaze-worthy architectural design. Okay, enough of me building anticipation. Let's go explore. Architectural inspiration often strikes from the unlikeliest places, which definitely rings true for Victor Oman. His unbridled passion for cinema and an outrageous number of video games provides rolls of blueprints for his ideas, and every aha moment leads to something undeniably beautiful. Victor sets the draft table by compiling interesting materials and lighting, using Megascan services, then modifies or creates entirely new ones in Quixel Mixer. In this image called Fantasy Town, Victor relied on textures and displacements to do the heavy lifting. The atmosphere is cool but warm and inviting at the same time. This looks vaguely familiar. I'm getting a wizards, wands, and broomsticks vibe here. A cup of warm butterbeer, anyone? By the way, all the houses are planes or cylinders, even the wet cobblestone street. Surprised? Good, that's the point. And this short film, called Rebirth, gave Victor an opportunity to put all his skills to work in a deeper way. Victor uses geometry tools, a newer feature of Unreal Engine, to block out scenes in 3D, and he models the more unique hero assets that are generally the focal point of the scene. So many adjectives come to mind while looking at this mountainside monolith. Stark, geometric, bold, industrial, minimalistic, vacuous, irregular, moody. Victor's personal work not only enhanced his portfolio and sharpened his skills, it also helped him land amazing career opportunities. After discovering the normal mapping plugin for Photoshop called Undo, Victor created a futuristic hallway that's inspired by Deus Ex. He then casually sent his design to Teddy Bergsman, the CEO of Quixel. Long story short, the hallway opened the door for Victor to land a job at Quixel, then Epic Games. Now, let's take a journey into the mind of Leon Tucker, an environment concept artist who draws inspiration from modern architecture, sci-fi movies, ocean coral reefs, and the wonderfully vibrant colors of coral fish, along with microscopic imagery. In this piece, we can see how Leon takes visual cues from the porous structural features seen in coral, and how this plays an impressive role in establishing a new unique vision of a cityscape, but on a massive scale. It's a future where cities start evolving, where beauty emerges from applying generative design techniques to create new super cities. Coral influences aside, one can see the clean white nerve structures found in bones. And who doesn't love this clean white mega architecture? I want to live there. Well, it's clear that Leon wields Cinema 4D like an elite neuro-nanosurgeon. Yeah, that's right, I said elite neuro-nanosurgeon. He ideates on paper and experiments with watercolors before experimenting on his Oculus Rift with a software called Gravity Sketch. This lets Leon live inside of his work. He can scale, zoom, pan, or even move through walls like a god. He can also create buildings, vehicles, vegetation, and other interesting shapes intuitively, fast, and with elite precision. As I said, like a god. Next up is Vladimir Somov, who's literally inspired by everything and sees no separation between his art and personal life. For him, art is life. I find that incredibly interesting. Creating a new piece each day, Vladimir explores spaces through each render and manipulates common objects to make something new. He can iterate super fast without having to build everything from scratch. Ray tracing integration in Unreal Engine 4, with its faster render times, gives him little time for lunch, but it doesn't matter. Art is his lunch. This image is a stairway to a beautiful, moody, yet cold environment. look at this tree here. As much as I'd like to read some deeper meaning into his choices of dead fauna as decorum, the dead tree, according to Vlad, was created without symbolic meaning. Ironically, its purpose adds life to an otherwise bleakly interesting yet static world. The images would normally feel cold, but Vladimir added warm lights to contrast with the organic shape to focus the audience's gaze. And thanks to Vlad, our gaze is focused indeed. Our final artist, Sergei Golotovsky, creates art that people find hauntingly familiar yet strangely new in a surreal way. For these beautiful Blade Runner-esque interior and exterior designs, Sergei was inspired by parametric architecture that's based on form, repetitive rhythm, and pulsating chaos. These images may appear futuristic and intergalactic in a way, but are more akin to organic, Earth-like forms. The building itself is a penthouse, a symbolic representation of the dynasty of a rich, well-known family. The antique statues reflect the personalities of the characters who live in this strange home. Sergei also explored Voronoi structures to achieve the big window effect that's eerily similar to a gigantic web protecting viewers from the outside world, perhaps. And yet, looking from the outside in, its exterior structure strongly suggests not a protective web, but a huge eye and gigantic beak of some expired megabird. Fascinating. Okay, as you know, an architect knows how to make a long story short, so that brings our architectural digest to a close. But before we close that book, we're always on the lookout for talented artists, and if you want us to feature your artwork, feel free to share it at #StudioShare and follow us at NVIDIA Creators. Cheers.